K-pop Demon Hunters doesn't make any sense at all. I'm serious, it's like they just took as much money as they could and did whatever they wanted to do with it. Because if that is not the case, tell me why every time I pause the movie, I see one mistake that makes me slap my forehead. From demons flying an airplane when they shouldn't know how to, pictures shrinking in size every single time we see them, down to food appearing and disappearing like it is being ordered from a mystical restaurant. This is going to be entertaining, so like and subscribe. Let's get down to it. The first mistake I'm going to talk about is from the end of the movie. Now, I'm sure we all remember how every single person that headed to the arena to watch the Saja boys was hypnotized. They didn't have a mind of their own, which was why they were not scared when they saw the Saja boys in their demon form. They didn't even blink when they saw the many demons that Huntrix fought, or even Guima. But after they defeated Guima, the enchantment on everyone was broken. And after that, everyone could see and understand what was going on. They had control of themselves. And yet, everyone thought it was normal for huntrix to be floating in the air. Yeah, go back and check it out if you want to. Those girls were flying in front of everyone, high in the air, and their fans were just cheering them up. I mean, come on people, I thought we were trying our best to be realistic here, huh? And you want to know what is funny? This first mistake doesn't even make you question reality as much as the second one will. The second mistake happened at the beginning of the movie when the girls were on the airplane. They were all having a good time when they realized that the plane had been hijacked. Rumi asked every demon in the plane to step out, and to my surprise, demons came out of the cockpit. It was demons flying the plane. Like, really? Demons flying the plane. We just found out that demons didn't know how the human world works, so how were they here flying a plane? You might be wondering how they could have hijacked the plane if they weren't the ones flying it. Well, there's always kidnapping, blackmail, and/or threatening human pilots. But I guess that didn't come to mind when writing the script. Such a silly mistake. But not as silly as when Bobby came to tell the girls that their new single Golden had dropped. He was wearing a white bathrobe with a white t-shirt that had the Huntrix logo on it. I mean, I don't blame him, he's their manager, so I'm sure he has a ton of their merch. That is expected, but what isn't expected is the magic that happened next. After it was decided that they had to start their promo for Golden, Bobby threw off his bathrobe. And you'd expect to get a better look at the white t-shirt he was wearing underneath that had Huntrix's logo, but when it was like the logo fell off with the bathrobe. That's the only explanation I can think of, and you can feel how stupid that sounds. Well, it gets even worse with the next mistake. It's like the details of K-pop Demon Hunters are big-time nerds that don't know how to properly animate clothes and jewelry, because that's the only explanation I can think of for the constant mistakes they make with the clothes and jewelry of characters. I know you're wondering what I am talking about this time. Well, let us take a look at the first time that the girls met the boys. Jinu was practically a diamond because that boy shone as bright as the morning sun, but all that charm was natural. He didn't have any bling on him. You can watch that scene one more time to check and be sure, but I promise you, you won't see him wearing any jewelry. It was only later that a necklace appeared on his neck out of the blue when he was performing Soda Pop with the Saja boys. Like, how did you think we wouldn't notice the big icy rack on the neck of one of the main characters in the movie? Come on, animators, you guys have to do better. Anyways, moving on to number 5. This mistake happened backstage at the Idol Awards. I'm sure we cannot remember that the girls were supposed to perform after the Saja boys at first. So they were in a room backstage waiting. Mira was throwing punches into a punching bag that had Abby Saja's abs on it. Then Bobby ran into the room to tell them that they were performing first, since the Saja boys were too busy fighting with each other. The difference between the picture on the punching bag from when Mira was punching it and from when Bobby came into the room is very clear. The one from before Bobby entered the room was huge, and the one after he entered the room was small. It's like the animators forgot that it's the same picture, so it had to be the same size, and they were just drawing whatever they felt like. Speaking of animators doing whatever they like, this mistake is probably the one where they did that the most. Remember that scene where Huntrix saw the Saja boys for the first time? They were swooning over these hot guys that seemed to have come out of boiling pots of hell. But Abi Saja had to take it a step further and show off his muscles. That boy stretched like he was just waking up from sleep. I mean, surely no one needs to stretch that much. And to make things worse, he was wearing a shirt that isn't his size. If I'm being honest, I don't think I am as big as Abi Saja, and I won't even wear the kind of shirts he wears. Those things are so tiny. So when he stretched as much as he did in that scene, it was a miracle the shirt itself didn't tear off. But what did happen was that all the buttons on the shirt shot off, like they snapped off the shirt. Now, you'd expect that he would be walking around with an open shirt, showing off his chest and abs. But that wasn't the case. Barely seconds later, all the buttons were back and his shirt was buttoned up. My jaws almost dropped to the floor. I'm honestly speechless. Like, I don't have the words to express my shock, so I'll just stroll to the next mistake. Number 7. I like to think 7 is a lucky number, but not on this list. On this list, number 7 is an embarrassing number. Yeah, it's embarrassing for the filmmakers. One of the laws in Kpop Demon Hunters is that human beings cannot see demons and they cannot see the Hunmoon. The makers of the film went through great lengths to show us this in that scene where Bobby and the girls were looking out the window in their living room. The girls could see the Hunmoon ripping apart, but Bobby didn't see anything. And if you look into their eyes, Mira, Zoe, and Rumi have reflections of the Hunmoon tearing in their eyes, but Bobby did not. That's how serious they were in trying to show us this fact, which is why it doesn't make any sense that any human would know about demons. So when we saw a fan wearing a shirt with Quima on it, it just made no sense. What kind of mistake is that? It's too big of a mistake if you ask me. I know some of you saw this mistake, but I can bet that none of you saw the next mistake I am about to talk about. During the performance of Soda Pop by the Saja boys, something very funny happened. While they were performing, they were helping fans do things they couldn't do and giving out gifts. And in one instance, we saw them hand out boxes of gifts to a group of little boys. And in like half of a second, we saw Abby's butt crack. Yeah, Abby's pants were way below his waist, so we could see his bum. But it happened so fast that you wouldn't have been able to see it with your bare eyes. You would have needed to slow the movie down or pause it, but you might not be fast enough to pause it. So yeah, I recommend slowing things down. Still on the Saja boys' performance of Soda Pop, the funniest mistake happened in that scene. I'm serious, I don't think I have ever laughed that hard in the entire movie. It was really crazy. Just as they were rounding up Soda Pop, they jumped in the air, dancing as they sang. But there's one problem. The animation of their legs was so funny. It was like they had no bones in their legs and it was all just flesh. Their legs were flapping like paper in the air, and it made me laugh hard enough to choke on what I was eating. Yeah, I love eating and watching movies. Anyways, we've come to the last mistake, and it involves food. In the airplane scene, the girls were carb loading. There was a tray of kimbap that they rushed through, finishing everything in the blink of an eye. We even saw Rumi stuff the long kimbap down her throat. But when they were about to eat the ramyun and noticed that they didn't have hot water for it, we saw the tray again and it was filled with kimbap. So unless there's a mystical restaurant that serves food that restores itself as you eat it, that isn't possible. Anyways, that's all for today. Leave your thoughts in the comments and I'll see you next time. Bye.